right. Okay. Well, we have a small group, so that's just great. We'll have a better discussion that way, I bet, with fewer of us to wrangle. But as I said, as people join, that'll be great too to get more involvement. And this is really just a brief introduction, hoping to get some information out about this new farm tool library. And of course, if you're connected with community groups and gardening and farming groups, we're excited to have you involved from the beginning here so that you can help spread the word and share the news about this new service. So I'm Tova Tillinghast. I'm the manager at Underwood Conservation District, and joining me is Jan Thomas. She's a integral part of the team here. We have a staff of 5 at Underwood Conservation District. So we're just going to give you a quick introduction to the Farm Tool Library, what it's about, and we'll probably reserve most questions to the end. It is a small group though, so if you really have something to clarify on the screen that we're looking at, feel free to raise your hand or chime in with a brief question, but we'll definitely have some discussion toward the end. So make sure to save your comments or questions till then as well, if it requires a little more discussion. In the meantime, I think y'all know about how to use Zoom and how to mute yourselves and just try to, you know, use the technology as appropriate. I'm excited we can reach out to you all this way, but we'll also have our in-person event, the grand opening celebration on April 20th. So we're excited about that. If you aren't already planning on being there, consider yourself invited and bring some hand tools that need sharpening or a file, and we'll have a little tool sharpening workshop as part of that event. So thanks to the Mountain View Grange for being our host all along here with the location where our tool shed is located now. And what you see on the screen too is our main web link for the tool library. That just is kind of the overview page of what this tool library is offering, but it's going to have a live link starting Monday that will lead to our actual online inventory of tools. And we'll talk about that, and you'll get a little sneak preview of what that looks like today. So that link is not live currently. The link that you see on the screen is live, but the link from there to our actual tool inventory will be live starting Monday. All right. So just to begin with what this is, we are excited about this Farm Tool Library because it provides a relevant and immediate way to be of service to beginning and small scale agriculturists. We provide low cost access to a variety of farm related tools this way, and it's meant to be useful for a wide variety of farm types. And again, primarily small scale commercial operations in need of the occasional specialized type of equipment, but also beginning and potential farmers that are exploring the feasibility of getting into agriculture. The majority of the tools are meant to be used on occasion, such as seasonal bed preparation or site establishment tools, and also to enhance conservation practices for improved soil health, invasive weed management, and pollinator habitat as examples. The primary goal of the UCD Farm Tool Library is to provide small and aspiring farmers with low-cost access to specialty tools that directly support farm operations and improve farm viability, and again, promote conservation practices for the protection or enhancement of natural resources. And another primary goal is to cultivate the community of area farmers and strengthen UCD's outreach and support to that community. So we're excited to use this Farm Tool Library as a way to expand our services more broadly to underserved communities. And you know, whether it's a small scale commercial farmer or a serious gardener working to feed their family, we're thrilled to make this available to folks. We were able to get this whole concept started with a grant from the National Association of Conservation Districts. They have an urban agriculture conservation capacity building grant, and that's what provided the funding for us to get this idea rolling and to be able to purchase some of the tools and purchase the actual tool shed and locate it in White Salmon. And then over the course of the pandemic, essentially, UCD staff and board developed this concept, and it's really an intermediate step for us. We have a long-term vision of creating a community conservation center that could include a farm incubator space, much like Headwaters Farm, if you've ever heard of that, in East Multnomah County. It's a farm incubator that provides space for new and beginning farmers to try out skills, learn skills, and connect with other farmers and really incubate their farm business. It's also a way to provide equipment and resources for farmers. So if we can ever reach that goal of having physical space with a community conservation center and farm incubator space, we would likely house even more equipment and resources there. So again, we do have this long-term vision of some kind of conservation center. And for now, this was the most immediate tangible step that we were able to take to get this farm tool library in place on our way toward that long-term vision. And just to give a quick brief background of what Underwood Conservation District is about, we're a local non-regulatory public agency that's focused on providing natural resource conservation assistance to landowners, and not just landowners, but land users, land managers, and residents. So whole communities, we want to reach out to folks, even if they don't own land, to support natural resource conservation in many different ways. You can see our mission is to engage landowners and land users throughout Skamania and West Klickitat counties in the voluntary conservation, enhancement, stewardship, and sustainable use of natural resources. We have a really wide variety of programs and services that we provide. So you can see the list of those, some of those there. But yes, we do work with the agricultural community and farmers and ranchers, orchardists, vineyards, to provide the assistance that we can for natural resource conservation purposes. And here you can see our district area. It's rather large, but it does cover all of Skamania County and Western Klickitat County. Our eastern border is the Klickitat River. So we cover a large area, again, primarily focused on landowners and residents that live in the communities. So where there's a lot of national forests and other public lands, we're not as focused in those areas. And here are some more specific farmland resources for our district. And so you can see some of the things that we can provide, including on-site technical assistance and advice and some potential cost share for projects. Of course, the new Farm Tool Library that we're going to talk about. And there's several other partners and resources in the area that we work with and refer folks to as appropriate. So I really wanted to make sure to give some appreciation to the folks that have really helped make this tool library a reality. So again, we received the National Association of Conservation Districts Urban Agriculture Grant initially to fund this. We had several awesome volunteers and hope to have even more coming in the future. And Del Medenbach is one who is the high school woodshop teacher. He'll be at our grand opening doing the sharpening workshop. My own husband, Richard, has been doing a lot of some of the grunt work of getting the tool shed set up. Paul Newell is a former board member that he actually houses the no-till drill for us, and I'll talk about that really quickly in a minute, and that's located in Underwood. DJ's Repair and Rental in Bingen houses and hosts our manure spreader, another piece of equipment that we have available for rent down there. We've gotten many donations from the Gorge Rebuild It Center already for just getting this tool library set up. We received donations from Page Paint for our signage. Of course, the Mountain View Grange members, especially Ruth and Bruce, thank you so much for your support already, getting this going. And then again, as I mentioned, the whole concept was conceived among board members and staff, and you can see them listed here. Those are not all of our board members, but Marie and Barbara were the two that were on the committee that helped really establish this concept and grow the idea for us. All right, so again, the types of tools, they're farm and garden related hand tools. We're really avoiding complicated mechanized or gas powered tools right now. And we're trying to focus on some of the more costly items that farmers or gardeners would like to try out to determine long-term utility. And again, it's really designed to be more specialized equipment meant to be used on occasion or seasonally to enhance conservation practices. We do have some of our tools available that are in multiples. So I'll show you a list actually. We have multiple shovels and hodads and things that could be used for work party purposes. So even though they're kind of common tools, we have them in higher quantities just to really encourage work parties and working together as a community. So let's see, I'm going to share a different page really quick. This will just give us a really quick sneak peek of our list or our current offerings. And I'll just scroll through to show what these involve. So I won't list off every single one, but you can see the photos, hopefully. And as we open up next week online, you'll get to take your time and browse these tools. We're still adding and refining to this list, but it's getting more interesting every day. Jan's been working really hard getting this all set up online. Sorry for the scrolling, but I'm just trying to give you a quick glimpse of some of the varieties of tools. And again, some of the more common ones we have multiples of. You can see the numbers that shows the number of tools that we have available. And again, like a tree planting bag could be for a planting party if you want to invite your neighbors over for that purpose. So that gives you quick glimpses there of the tools we have available, but I will be walking us through a little bit more detail in terms of how the new website's going to work to be able to reserve tools. Coordinate my pages here. All right. I did mention that we have these two other larger scale tools that are available outside of the actual farm tool library located at Mountain View Grange. And again, that's the no-till drill, which is located in Underwood and currently still reservable on our website at the link that you see there. Eventually we'll get it incorporated into our tool library inventory, but for now that's where you can reserve it. And then the manure spreader, this can also spread compost or mulch material soil. That's available through DJs and Bingen, and we have more information about it on our website, but you can also contact DJs directly to go ahead and arrange to rent that. We've already had lots of questions about what kinds of tools we'll accept as donations to the Farm Tool Library, and we're trying to be pretty strict about that criteria. So this is our current criteria, and again, we're really looking at hand tools, simple tools, safe tools. We don't want to have to require a lot of training or personal protective equipment for using these tools. Eventually, we may expand to get more complicated with those types of tools, but for now, these are our focus. So yes, we will not be accepting every donation that anybody wants to offer. And there may be other avenues for those, of course, posting on the Gorge Grown Classifieds or the Buy Nothing Facebook page. There's other places to get some of those different tools and materials out to folks. But for now, this is our criteria. And we do have a future tool wish list. These are some examples of a couple of those that we are looking to expand and add to our inventory at some point. And we're open to ideas. So if you're a farmer or a gardener and you know an excellent tool or a weed control tool of some kind, anything that you've used that works really well that could be shared and would fit our criteria, we're adding to this list all the time and keeping an eye out for opportunities to add to the inventory. So we are going to start walking through the web page now a little bit more specifically. So again, we will have this live link available on the UCD web page. Our plan is to have it there Monday. And so once you get in there, you would see a page that looks first like this. This is the basic home landing page. And it gives a quick overview of how things work and the steps involved with creating a membership first, and how to reserve a tool and whatnot. So that's the first thing that most folks will see when they come into the Farm Tool Library website. And then to create an account, you're going to want to, I think I skipped it, but you'll click that little create account button at the top right corner. And then you really just enter in your basic information here. And then there's a user agreement. So we're going to require to become a member that everybody accepts the terms and conditions of our Farm Tool Library user agreement. And you can even see here, we do have some fees. So we want to, be lenient enough with the public, but we also are going to have some boundaries here where if people are late or returning damaged tools, there may be some fees involved. So part of this user agreement is reading through that, making sure you understand what our requirements are, that tools have to be returned clean and on time. That's going to be important for every member to recognize and accept. And then once you pass that step, you can select 3 levels of use. You can have unlimited use, which is $75 a year. Limited use is really about using up to 3 tools per year. And then a scholarship request. We want to make this available to everyone. So if those costs are too high for anybody, they can request a scholarship, and then we can discuss that with them. And there's still an option to donate, up to whatever amount people can afford to have a membership. So we'll work with people individually for that. And then once you pass those steps, you'll be able to look at our inventory. And I did already show you that list, or kind of what this page looks like with the variety of tools that we have available. You can select some of these categories to try to narrow down your search. And really, most of them are hand tools and most of them are garden tools. So you may not find those categories as helpful as we'd like, but yeah, it should be able to tell you right there how many we have and whether they're in stock or not. And then when you click reserve, you can select when you'd like to reserve them. So if they're not available this week, they may become available next week. And you can select the dates that show as available for that particular item. And those items will go into your cart. And you can enter your cart and complete the reservation by clicking on Submit Reservation. So once you're a member and you've paid your membership fee or become a member at whatever level, it's no cost to actually reserve and borrow items. And you should get a confirmation email that you've made your reservation. So we're hoping this all goes smooth. It's a work in progress. Jan's been, like I mentioned, been working really hard getting all of this set up, and we've we think we've worked out all the details, but bear with us as we get started. If there's little quirks in the system, we'll work with you on it. But we're excited to have this. Of course, if someone doesn't have access to the internet, or is having trouble with using the website, we're happy to work with people in a low-tech variety of ways. So we are, we have other ways to get people signed up and paid and accessing these tools as well. So we think this way will work for most people, but we can have workarounds as well. All right, so the reason I also wanted to reach out to all of you is that most of you are connected with community groups, and you already may have some ideas for how you want to support the UCD Farm Tool Library. But here are some thoughts to get us going, and I'm happy to have Q&A after this and also discuss any of your ideas for how to support this Farm Tool Library. We are hoping that the membership fees will help pay for the costs. Of course, it will help, but we're not sure how it's going to all balance out in the end. There's bound to be maintenance costs and, of course, our staff time and other costs associated with managing this. So we are definitely open to donations. So that's one way people can support. And of course, we're going to be looking for grants that can also provide ongoing support. And I'm aware of at least one through Department of Ecology that I may be able to pursue in the near future. We also have opportunities for volunteers to take on a variety of tasks. I would love to be able to make this entire service available to Spanish speakers. So we're looking for assistance in that realm. But definitely, again, with tool maintenance or repair, we're looking forward to having any volunteer assistance with that. There's going to be some ongoing tasks and maintenance involved with the tool shed itself. And then we're also really looking forward to providing how-to workshops and even videos on how to use some of these tools and what their benefits are and why they can help you with your farm operation. So we're open to ideas in terms of how folks want to get engaged with that. And then, of course, there's lots of other ways to support agriculture and connect farmers and expand on this whole farm tool idea. I did mention Gorge Grown's classifieds. They have online classifieds where, for example, if someone has a piece of equipment that we can't accept, that's a way to post it online and let people know that you have such and such equipment that's available for rent or use or giveaway or whatever it is. And similarly, if farmers are looking for jobs or looking for land, or landowners are looking for farmers, that Gorge Grown Classifieds page is a great way to connect, but also the Farm to Farmer page is a great resource for Washington State, connecting farmers with land. I am excited to talk to the White Salmon Library about an actual farm-related library for books to really provide a lot of different resources, literature resources for farmers and gardeners. So that's another way to evolve this farm tool library. And then I'm looking forward to potentially having repair cafes where if people bring in their own tools that need repair, or we've got some of the tools in the inventory that need repair, repair cafes can be a fun way to build skills among the community in a fun way. So let's see. The consumables idea here is just if people have extra fencing material or seed or mulch material or things like that that's on the consumable side, it may not be something that we can do with our farm tool library, but again, if we can help connect people with that resource, that can be posted on the Gorge Classifieds, the Gorge Grown Classifieds page, or other resources, and we're happy to help spread the word and get our membership involved with that as well with this farm tool library. And of course, you can join your local grange. You can buy local produce through groups like the Gorge Farmers Collective and other local farms. So yeah, those are just some of the ideas to kind of get the discussion rolling here. And again, I'm kind of glad we have a relatively small group so that we can maybe have more of a discussion now if people are interested. I think that was one of my last slides. I just wanted to make sure again that everyone knows about the grand opening that the Grange is going to host for us on April 20th. So come on out from 4 to 6 And again, we'll have that tool sharpening workshop happening with Dell, and that starts right at 4. So bring your tools, bring your files, and we'll have a great time. Okay, so looks like we have at least one hand up from Becky. Do you want to kick us off?
Yeah, Tova, I wanted to say that, I don't know, maybe you're already aware of it, but we have a group that is actually starting a seed library at the library. And
Nice.
we're probably, I don't know, 14 or 15 of us that are involved in that. And so that would be a good place, as opposed to starting a whole new one, is maybe to send them there if they're looking for seed. And maybe that could be something that could be posted.
Yeah.
Eventually, once that's started, we're at the very inception at this point, but and then also you mentioned tool maintenance, and I was thinking maybe you don't want anything that's chargeable, but if you got some people who actually do a lot of tool sharpening, and I know there's some people around here that do that, maybe you could let them post to charge people as well. So for their home tools, so that it made it worthwhile for them to sharpen the tools in the library, if they could also take business while they're there or whatever, or maybe they're volunteering there and they could take in and actually make their income from people's home tools. I don't know, an idea maybe that would get them more enthused about sharpening the tools all the time.
Yeah. Nice. Okay, jotting these down. Thank you. Let's see, was Bruce next with his hand up? Okay, go ahead, Bruce.
Okay, yeah, thank you. Please say more, Tova, about the book library and the White Salmon Library. Did they agree to have a section on farm books, or they're thinking about it, or what's the status of that?
Well, I shouldn't jump to conclusions at all. I've only come up with the idea myself. So I mean, not to say that it's the first time it's been thought of at all, and I just need to approach them. I did invite the library folks to this meeting to help start that conversation, but I need to approach them and talk about that.
Oh, okay, so that's a future action item. And I was going to ask, do you know if anyone is doing anything comparable to what we're doing with farm tools in food preservation? I think the Hood River Library does something like that. And if you haven't approached the White Salmon Library already, maybe that's something I'll do and say, how about you have a lending a tool library for food preservation.
That's a great idea.
Oh, okay. I'll put that on my bucket list.
I will add to that, Bruce, that we, in our seed saving, we are planning on doing classes. And so that would really tie in, because we are planning on doing some classes on food preservation in the seed library. So
okay.
When
you say we, Becky, tell me again who the we is.
Well, I wish I could remember her name right offhand, but she's the head of the library over there. I just don't remember her name. And Sue Kush, we have quite a few people, and ironically, the majority of them live up Snowden, but it's not a Snowden thing. It's everybody. And like I said, we had 15 or 16 people, many of whom I had never met before. Barbara Bailey's involved, and I know she's on the board there. So you guys probably know her, but I don't know who else you would know there, honestly.
I'll just approach the library and see what happens.
Okay.
Thank you.
Yeah, thank you. And speaking of food, not quite preservation, but I guess related, there's a poultry processing unit also available, because that's one type of equipment we've thought about offering in our farm tool library, but just due to sanitation and risk issues, we didn't jump right into it too fast. But there is a poultry processing unit available at Clark Conservation District to the west, out of Vancouver. So they are open to loaning it out to our district area. So we'll want to make sure to get the word out about that as well for folks that want to do poultry processing.
Yeah, it sounds like something you could put on your list. Yeah, for that.
Yeah, definitely. Great. Okay, Phil, I think you had your hand up there.
Yes, the time frame for the loans, I suspect there's a specific time frame. I saw 1 week for the example. Is that your target right now for loans?
That's right. I could have mentioned that more specifically, but let's see. The 1 week window is where we're starting. We're planning to be open Fridays from noon to 2 to begin with. And this could all change as we adapt and if we get busy or not. But from 12 to 1 on Fridays is the window we're aiming for everyone to return items. And then from 1 to 2 would be the time frame when people can come pick up items. So it's a once a week opportunity to come in and pick up your reserved items or return the items that you've had for the last week.
Okay, great. Thank you.
Sure. Yeah, any other thoughts, questions, confusions?
Well, this one might be kind of out there, but on the work parties, I wonder if it would be beneficial at all to maybe put up a some sort of a chart where people who want to have work parties could do that. And then in turn, if you sign up for, or if you want a work party, you would also have to sign up for someone else's. I mean, this is down the road, but it would be a kind of great idea to get people together in the community to work on each other's farms. I don't know, it might be out there, but
some kind of bulletin board or way to post work
Yeah.
parties or interest
Right.
in that. Okay. Yeah,
I mean, have to be kind of a fair exchange too, but
nice.
I think we can use more out of the ordinary ideas for this.
Yeah, gotta get creative sometimes.
Yeah.
See, Ruth, you have your hand up?
Yeah, hi Tova.
Hi.
I'm just going to throw it out there because it doesn't fit in exactly right now, but I'm wondering if there's an opportunity there to educate people about the advantages of battery powered lawn and garden care equipment like lawnmowers and leaf blowers. And I mean, really saving, a lot of carbon emissions from the fossil fuels. And I think you mentioned a bulletin board would be a great place to post information like that. And some people who don't use the computer might see if someone had, fencing to spare or something, they might see it on a bulletin board where they wouldn't see it online. So I have been asked whether the tool library will have any battery powered equipment, and it's probably too soon to get into something that requires battery maintenance. But if we can help educate people about using battery powered equipment over gasoline powered equipment, I see that as a great thing.
Yeah, it's true. We did receive one donation of a battery powered an electric pole saw, basically a mini chainsaw on the end of a long pole for pruning and whatnot. And I'm ensuring that it actually works and assessing how we're going to use it and the safety factors involved. So it may be our first battery powered tool involved with the Farm Tool Library, but TBD.
Nice.
Or plug-in, I guess they're all electric, but the plug-in lawnmowers are such a risk of mowing your cord.
No, they have cordless lawnmowers.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, any other suggestions or ideas, ways we could partner with groups? I did cast my net pretty broad for just the invitation of this meeting. Invited, folks from Ace Hardware and DJ's Repair and Rental, and I've had good conversations with Jack at the Gorge Maker Space, and we're already connected with agriculture classes and wood shop and metal shop classes over at the high school. as you can tell with even the woodshop teacher getting involved next week at the grand opening. But yeah, if there's another group out there that you suggest we make sure to reach out to, I'm happy to jot that down if we haven't thought of that. Yeah, Becky.
Well, I don't know about the county extension offices for both. Did you reach out to them too? Because
I
they're
did.
really,
Yeah.
okay. All right.
Yes, I did, but we'll continue reaching out to them to make sure they keep this on their radar. Yeah. Oh, is that Garrison?
Yeah, and I just want to mention, like I said in my email, that the Rebuild It Center and the board that oversees that, we're pretty excited about what you guys are doing, and I think it'd be really cool if we go down a similar sort of tool share option, but more focused on construction related things, if there was some sort of reciprocity or at least partnering and sharing publicity and whatnot. I think that could be really productive, especially like across the river. Obviously, I don't think people are going to want to like drive all the way across. That bridge is really, really, really long for a lot of people. So I think having close to the river are beneficial.
Yeah. Well, that's great. Yeah, I think there's really a lot of synergy to be had between what we're doing in the Gorge Rebuild It Center. We have kind of unique roles, I think, that we're playing, but they could work together really well, and we could certainly cross promote each other's efforts. So
On that note, I just want to make a note that I'm also on the committee for the cleanup, white salmon bingen, and I know you guys bring in, you guys come and hang out there and get a lot of the stuff that comes in, but they did mention that. I just thought, well, what about, this tool shed? And they said that you guys could come down if someone wanted to come down from there and maybe work with the folks that are from Rebuild It, because they kind of have they've been going there for years, and see if there's certain tools that they might want to, pass on to us. So I know that's vague, but that's kind of how they said it. So you might know better. Anyway, it's a possibility. That's on the 22nd and 23rd, I think, right?
Yep.
So
Friday and Saturday next week. Yeah.
yeah.
sounds good. Thank you. All right. As I mentioned, our link, we hope to make live on Monday, the 18th. And then with our opening happening on the 20th, it's really a celebration, a chance to celebrate together all the hard effort that's gone into just making it to this point, and have a good time and show off the actual tool shed and the tool inventory that will be open and available to see. But then our actual first actual opening will be Friday again, because we don't want to start off confusing people with a Wednesday time slot to come get your tools. So it's going to be Friday from noon to 2 to come check in or check out tools for the first time. And that'll be Friday the 22nd, but we'll make sure to swing down to that community pride cleanup too. But yeah, are there any other last thoughts? We're happy to continue the conversations too, offline and later. But
It's Earth Day. Your first opening day is Earth Day.
that's right. Happy Earth Day.
Oh, nice.
Well, thank you for doing this orientation, Tova. And just as a bonus, I must be living under a rock because I didn't know that Gorge Grown even had a classified section. And that sounds wonderful. I'm going to really prowl through there.
Yeah, I wish it was more often used, but that's actually how I've gotten a couple of our volunteers for this tool shed already. They saw our ad on the Gorge Grown classifieds. So yeah, check it out and post things there if you're not already.
Yeah, this is a good deal. Thank you.
All right. Well, thanks everyone. Thanks for your enthusiasm and support. And we're looking forward to kicking this off next week and seeing you hopefully at the grand opening on the 20th.
Yep, I'll be
Thanks,
there.
Tova.
Yeah,
Okay.
Thank you.
Yeah,
Bye.
thank you.
good evening.